Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Ora News broadcast. It's now time for our daily English news edition, Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. The Assembly Speaker, Ilir Mehta, commented today on the final opinion of the Venice Commission. According to him, it paves the way for the political class to adopt the justice reform with consensus. He said, "We need to have a consensual approach to the justice reform. We need to agree to draft a concrete agenda, starting with the issues that unite us. The Commission should start work on the reform immediately." In the event that the parties cannot reach consensus, the Assembly Speaker offered this solution. "If we do not manage to find a similar interpretation of the Venice opinion, we can cooperate with Euralius and OPDAT to realize this reform. Pretenses will not help and will not move us toward consensus," said Mr. Mehta. When asked about a possible Plan B if an agreement cannot be reached, the SMI chairman responded that everyone should focus their energy on finding consensus. Regarding the Bureau of Investigation, the Assembly Speaker made the statement that the question of which body supervises the Bureau is not important. He says that the efficiency of the Bureau is a far more important topic and its adoption as quickly as possible. Lastly, he appealed to the opposition MPs to stop using vulgar tactics to achieve their purposes. The U.S. Ambassador Donald Liu held a meeting today with the former Prime Minister Salih Berisha. They were joined by the chief of the OPDAT mission, John Simbert. Mr. Berisha expressed the opinion that the Venice Commission document is a solid basis for completing the justice reform. He emphasized that the work on creating the anti-corruption unit should begin as soon as possible, based on the Venice recommendations. Mr. Berisha added that this unit cannot be created like the Prime Minister wanted, but it must be done according to the principles of independent investigation. He also expressed his concerns about the incrimination of Parliament, restating the possibility that he may give up his mandate as an MP because he cannot stay in a nest of criminals. Also, the former Prime Minister highlighted that the government has removed the law on conflict of interest. According to him, the public wealth is being stolen by the Prime Minister's clients. The Minister of Justice, Manjani, was invited to be a guest last night on our program, Tonight Il Vetare. He spoke about the final opinion of the Venice Commission on the justice reform, saying that the report is very professional. He said that the Venice offers an opinion on the standards and deals with the main points of the reform, like the National Bureau of Investigation and the Council of Appointments in the justice system. To Minister Manjani, the participation of the opposition in the new judicial bodies is very important. He said, "The Venice report is a professional report with opinions about the standards, not the drafts. There may be many drafts that are sent, but there is only one standard. The Venice Commission very practically kept their focus on professional and European standards. This is what we asked for, and I think that this is a much awaited report that has nothing to do with the discussion that we have here in Albania," said Minister Manjani. The minister said that he is in favor of a political discussion to find consensus on the justice reform. He was open to the possibility of having a meeting with the political party chairman. He went on, "To be honest, I do not know how this discussion will go, but I see a more active role for the ad hoc commission for justice reform. A political discussion between the party chairman is a possibility. Anything that helps the process, gives hope to political dialogue, and encourages the adoption of the reform should not be excluded," said Minister Manjani. Lastly, he commented on the property law about which the opposition and the president have filed complaints to the Constitutional Court. He said that the law is necessary in order to solve the property issue and that it is approved by the European Commission. Prime Minister Rama was in Lushnja today monitoring the newest government program, Agro 100. The program will add more greenhouses and increase the export of Albanian products. He visited a greenhouse today that benefited from the financial disbursement of the project, which aims to support investors in constructing greenhouses of 10 to 100 hectares. "In 2 years, we have doubled the surface of the greenhouses," he said, "and this has brought an immediate impact in exports. There was a boom of exports in 2015 and a very positive development for the domestic market. Now we want to move forward with the process of direct support. We will give $100,000 for greenhouses of 10 hectares over 5 years' time. For 100 hectares, we will give $1 million over 5 years, said Prime Minister Rama. Mr. Rama went on to say that support will also be offered by the €300 million National Guarantee Fund for Agriculture. They all have the National Guarantee Fund at their disposal to take out loans from the second-level banks at low interest. There is a fund of €300 million that can be utilized by all producers, said Mr. Rama. The Prime Minister was accompanied by Minister of Agriculture Edmond Panariti. After the recent statements of the Prime Minister, who said that millions of euro will be available for agriculture, the farmers are saying that they don't have any information about how to benefit from the funds of the program. During a discussion of the program, the Ministry of Agriculture admitted that the application procedure is in fact difficult. A ministry rep said that €2 million was still left over from a total of €6.2 million in the EU fund. The Commission of Productive Activity has adopted the program, which is the second EU program supporting Albanian agriculture. The EU is offering €71 million to support agriculture, and the Albanian government is contributing €23 million. The women of the Democratic Party protested today outside the Prime Minister's office against his language in the last plenary session. According to the chairwoman of the Democratic Women's League, the Prime Minister's language and demeanor were not acceptable. The Democratic women are protesting against the Prime Minister insulting the Democratic MPs Halimi and Deda, and against the stance of the Bureau of the Assembly on this issue. Mrs. Vokshi declared that this protest is a national call to defend women's integrity. The MP Albina Deda accused the Prime Minister of being a coward who defends the incriminated in Parliament. She said, "A person who easily insults a woman MP will not care about lying to the citizens. I do not expect him to apologize. I expected him to lie about the offense that he made. You are a coward, and that's why you keep the incriminated close to you," said Mrs. Deda. The new forest moratorium is considered to be an important step for the country's economy, but the Minister of Environment said today that it cannot function without the help of the mayors. Minister Koka appealed to the mayors for their help and cooperation in maintaining Albania's environment. He said, "The new law on managing the forest is already being discussed in the parliamentary commissions, and it will soon pass to Parliament. Along with the moratorium, the law should be considered an important asset for the economy. The moratorium clearly indicates that the mayors should be in charge of the management plans. I once again request that the mayors commit to cooperation," said Minister Koka. The Vice Prime Minister Niko Peleshi expressed his confidence that the mayors will show the necessary responsibility to properly manage the funds. He said, "The policies of the Ministry of Agriculture are not enough to stop the exploitation of the forest. 2,700 permits were issued in the last 10 years, and only 24 permits in the last 2 years. We decided to give the responsibility of forest management to the mayors. We believe that the mayors are responsible enough to do this," said Mr. Peleshi. That's the end of our edition for this evening. Thanks again for watching. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time with more news in English. Have a great night.